I wanted to talk about Loro Piana, and I wanted to have a conversation around consumerism and where luxury is in terms of consumerism, especially these days. And I thought that a really good thing to illustrate it would be talking about the Loro Piana scarf handle, to be honest, because it's like, it's very, I think it's just very indicative of where we are in terms of luxury fashion and just the luxury landscape in fashion right now. So for people that don't know, this handle has gone really viral on social media recently, mainly because it's $600 for a handle and people are completely outraged about it. Personally, I think it's not that crazy, the price, because it is Loro Piana and it's a luxury brand, and luxuries are not necessities. So the kind of people that buy into Loro Piana don't really care about the price. It could be 2,000, it wouldn't really matter. So I don't think the price is necessarily something that I personally find contentious, but I just think the conversation around it is something that I found really funny. But essentially, it's called the Foulard Handle. That word essentially just means like scarf in French. And they do have their collection of scarves. So they essentially designed a handle that you buy and then you separately buy a scarf and then it turns into sort of a scarf bag. Now, this is something I've seen loads of different places. I've seen many different brands do this. I've seen this from the likes of as in many different iterations, like as has done, like they have like these versions, for example, they have the silk scarf bags. They have women who, use the furoshiki technique with silk scarves to make their bags. For people that don't really know what furoshiki is, it's this Japanese technique that where they use cloth to essentially make bags. So all this kind of stuff is not new. The weirdest thing I saw online actually is a lot of people were saying that this is some of the most innovative stuff they've ever seen. And I'm like, innovative? It's just a handle that you can tie a silk scarf to. There's nothing really that innovative about it. Like, so many brands have done stuff that's similar or offered, something similar. So I didn't really understand the whole frenzy around it, to be very honest. I was almost quite confused about how people were saying, the whole thing is completely innovative. And I think there are also two versions, because I think people have kind of mixed up or maybe don't even know that there are two versions. There's this version that's $600, and then there's actually a smooth calfskin version that is actually a lot cheaper, that a lot of people have put in their videos, not realizing the one that people are outraged about is this one, the $600 one. But yeah, I think it's it's quite a niche proposition, even by luxury standards. And it's just funny. I also think that this is smart. And I think that's also something I really wanted to talk about, to give Loro Piana some credit. I think this has created a lot of traction for Loro Piana. Loro Piana, before this became viral, the conversation we were having about Loro Piana was their supply chain and all the negative things about their supply chain and all the evidence that has been found about their supply chain. And I think they were really looking from a PR perspective to find a way to overthrow that topic. And I think with this handle, what it was able to do was it was able to take attention away from the negative conversations people are having about Loro Piana at the time. I also think another thing is that this has also brought Loro Piana back into the zeitgeist, and it was also a chance for them to start talking about, the fact that they use vicuna wool and they use all these cashmere goats and all that sort of stuff to really overtake the negative conversation that was happening around the brand. So in that sense, it was really smart. It's something that, because the way that luxury consumers consume is very, like, a lot of these consumers have so much disposable income. So when something is trending, they just buy it because it's just like, why not? Especially because $600 to these kind of people is not a lot of money. And so every brand needs an accessory that is accessible-ish, that just sells like crazy, right? And I know next fashion week, there are going to be people with this handle getting papped. I already know that. And that's just going to work in Loro Piana's favor, to be honest. So every brand just needs those kind of easy, you don't have to think much, quick to buy, easy to buy, quite accessible items. And I think that's what this is for Loro Piana. Because I can't actually remember before this what famous product Loro Piana has had. Like people talk about Loro Piana in general when they talk about the fabrics and, pieces from Loro Piana, but I can't remember a single item of clothing or a single piece from Loro Piana that has actually, got mainline traction. Someone said, missed opportunity here. You're not naming the real issues, because I've done it so many times before. So I don't really feel the need to do it again. But I've spoken about their supply chain. Like people that watch these streams know I've talked about all the Loro Piana supply chain issues over and over and over again. I think everyone that watches this stream, like when I just mention it, knows what I'm talking about. The loafers, was that like widely adopted? I'm not sure if it was widely adopted, to be honest. Do you think it was a strategic decision to redirect attention? I don't think they strategically made it to redirect attention, but I think once they saw it was gaining traction, then they saw the opportunity to use it to do that. Yes, there are multiple videos. Multiple videos, actually. Multiple videos. Also, there's a TikTok about this whole topic that I found that I thought was really, really good. It's by a content creator called who I thought had a really, really good take about the whole Loro Piana situation. So I'm going to play it now.
As a traditional Japanese cloth has now become a global marketing ploy and resold for copious amounts by luxury brands. This is the Furoshoki bag. The Furoshoki is a traditional Japanese art of wrapping goods. So a good high quality Furoshoki in Japan is roughly between 15 to 30 pounds, while luxury brands like Loro Piana are selling theirs for just shy under 300 pounds. Brands like Hermes are repurposing or reusing like old material and scraps to create.
So quickly, the strap that she just showed, that's 300 pounds, is the smooth version. So this smooth leather version is one version, and the other version is the one that I showed. The one that I showed is actually more expensive than this one. So the smooth one is the more affordable one.
Shy under 300 pounds. Brands like Hermes are repurposing or reusing like old material and scraps to create their Furoshoki bags that range for just under 500 pounds. Loro Piana only sells the leather handle in expectation that consumers will then go and buy a Loro Piana scarf or a scarf of their choice to create their own Furoshoki bag just after spending 300 pounds. Please drop your comments, thoughts, opinions, and views on the Furoshoki if you know any more details.
So yeah, and what this whole situation really says to me, and what is I find very interesting about this whole thing, is it just shows you and tells you that consumers really want to be marketed to, because so many brands have done this already. As has done this a billion times. Like I said earlier in the stream, the Furoshoki technique is something that has been around for a long time, and Japanese people have been creating, bags out of cloth forever. So it's quite funny that people only adopt it when a marketing team literally tells you that you need to buy a handle to make the same thing. And it just shows you, because everyone, especially a lot of luxury consumers, they think they're so unique and they think they have so much taste, but they just do everything that brands tell them to do, quite literally. They are a brand's wet dream. It's just like, we're going to make this handle, buy it. And people are like, oh my God, this is the most innovative thing I've ever seen. It's just very, very strange. People are able to just take ideas and recreate it themselves while giving back context. Just so refreshing. Someone said, oh God, thankfully it's only 300 pounds. That version is 300 pounds. There's a more expensive version. But that's the same for any fashion era stuff, just surges every some decades, and that's okay. I definitely think it's okay, but I do also think that because you haven't seen the videos I'm referring to, but a lot of the videos that I saw online were essentially people discussing this handle as if to say the only way to authentically, participate in this trend is to buy the handle and to buy a Loro Piana scarf, when I don't agree at all, because there's like, this has been done before. But if you're just someone who's like, oh, this is really fun, let me adopt it, and you can afford it, I think that's completely fine. I think I'm more speaking to people that are saying this is super innovative. There's been people online that are saying that, they've never seen something like this before, and like, this is like, Loro Piana has done something really innovative, which I would disagree with. That stuff from brainless people. And this is very true too. The Instagram girlies who are obsessed with literally anything that Hailey Bieber does. That's definitely a thing. Definitely a thing for sure. Definitely a thing. Brian says, I knew it looked familiar. Very familiar. Very familiar. Definitely done before. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Just kind of wanted to touch on the whole Loro Piana thing because people have been asking me my thoughts, and because I haven't streamed for a while, I just wanted to give my thoughts on that.